I'm Butch Patrick.
And I'm Tom Devlin.
Welcome to Eddie's House of Monsters.
While you guys are here, please respect the residents of the house. Don't touch any of the monsters or props without being instructed.
And you will be instructed. I want you to meet Claude, our resident invisible man. He will be your tour guide today to the House of Monsters and will instruct you on if and when you need to touch any props.
Hey, Butch. Hey, Tom. Hey, Kane. Good to meet you.
Don't be scared. Claude will guide you through. You'll see some familiar faces along the way, and Tom and I will meet you at the end.
While you move through the house, you will learn of monsters in film and television history, along with real-life lore that inspired all of our favorites.
Butch, are you going to tell them about the doors?
Oh yes, of course. While traveling through each room, you will view a presentation and need to complete a task. The doors will remain locked until you do. In case of an emergency, an actual emergency, you can press the red button next to the door. It will release the door so you can make your way to the emergency exit.
All right, gang. Let's get going. The monsters are waiting. The doors are opening. Now go ahead and move through. Let's get started.
But you gotta meet him in the next room. First up's werewolf. On my way.
Even a man who is pure of heart and says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the wolf's bane blooms and the autumn moon is bright.
Hello again. You probably know me as Eddie Munster from the classic TV series The Munsters. Growing up in a house full of monsters, I got pretty used to things that go bump in the night. But there's one creature that always stood apart, the werewolf. The legend of the werewolf goes way back, centuries before Hollywood ever got its claws on it. In European folklore, stories spread of men cursed to become wolves under the full moon, driven by instinct, rage, and hunger. These weren't just campfire tales. People genuinely feared werewolves. By the time movies came along, the werewolf found its perfect form. In 1941, Lon Chaney Jr. starred in The Wolfman, creating what many still consider the definitive version of the creature. That film gave us the rules that we all know. Full moon transformations, the curse passed by a bite, and the idea that deep down, the monster is still a man struggling to hold on to his humanity. And that's what makes the werewolf different from the rest. Dracula knows what he is. Frankenstein's monster didn't ask to exist. But the Wolfman, he feels it happening. He knows what he's becoming, and he can't stop it. On The Munsters, I got to play Eddie, the son of Herman and Lily, and yeah, technically I was the werewolf of the family, but our version was a little different. Instead of terrorizing villagers, I was going to school, causing mischief and growing up like any other kid, just with a few extra fangs and a full moon problem now and then. As special effects evolved, so did the werewolf. Films like An American Werewolf from London, with groundbreaking work by Rick Baker, showed audiences something they'd never seen before. A transformation that was painful, physical, and shockingly real. You just didn't cut away, you watched it happen. Bone, muscle, fur all shifting right in front of you. At the same time, the howling pushed things even further, making the werewolf bigger, meaner, and more animalistic than ever before. And from there, the creature kept evolving. Sometimes terrifying, sometimes heroic, and sometimes even tragic. But no matter how much it changes, the core idea stayed the same. The werewolf isn't just a monster, it's a curse. It's the loss of control. It's the idea that somewhere inside all of us there's something wild, something we keep buried. And maybe that's why it lasted so long. Because unlike mummies or vampires, the werewolf isn't something ancient or distant. It's something that could be you. Now, place your hand on the Wolfman's cane to enter the next room.
All right, guys, the doors are open. Let's move through before they close.
Oh, there's
ladies and gentlemen, isn't this exciting? Yeah, hopefully my face is familiar to you. I'm Hollywood actor Daniel Roebuck, or as I like to call myself, Dan of 1,000 Faces. Anyway, this is my co-host Nosferatu, Karen Orlock, and tonight you're going to get a crash course in vampire history from the source itself. Oh yeah, for me, that's right. One of my 1,000 Faces is I got to play a Count Dracula in a Universal horror movie.
We begin long before your films. In the villages of Eastern Europe, the vampire was not charming. It was a corpse, swollen, diseased, risen from the grave to feast upon the living.
Oh no, that's right, and people believed it. Real cases, like Peter Blagojevich, he had entire towns digging up graves, burning hearts. I mean, this was fear trying to make sense of death and dying.
Viva, your explanation for the unknown.
Well, now that's where literature steps in and cleans things up. By the time we hit Dracula, the vampire becomes aristocratic, controlled, seductive, refined, thanks to Bram Stoker.
A disguise to walk among you.
And then comes cinema, 1922, Nosferatu. That's you, buddy, you're the star. Oh my gosh, pure nightmares. But just a few years later, Bela Lugosi turns the vampire into a swoon, a beloved figure. Yeah.
Your kind beauty to truth.
Yes, true, it's true, and it keeps evolving. Like Christopher Lee, remember in the Hammer films, his Dracula brings power and menace. But by the time we hit the 80s, vampires are riding motorcycles and wearing leather jackets and playing rock and roll. The Lost Boys, man, you remember that. And then in the 90s, total shift again. Vampires become philosophical, like Vampire Lestat or Own Tom Devlin's After Dark. Eventually, they become heroes, anti-heroes, and even romantic leads. Sometimes they're actually family.
Family?
Yeah, family. I'm talking about the Munsters. You've got Grandpa, right? Classic old world vampire mad energy, and Lily Munster. Oh, Lily, beautiful, elegant, gothic, still warm and human in her own way, and frankly, she was a mother we all wanted, wasn't she?
You made the monster domestic.
Yes, exactly. The living room instead of crypt, and family dinner instead of a feeding frenzy. And here's the kicker. This is what I was hitting at earlier. I actually got to step into the world myself. I played the Count Dracula, Grandpa Munster, in Rob Zombie's version of the Munsters.
So,
Oh yeah.
you became one of us.
Well, for a little while, yeah. But that's kind of the whole story right there. See, vampires, they start out as something we fear. Then they turn into something we understand, and eventually something we relate to. And that's why vampires never go away, whether it's castles, nightclubs, or sitcom living rooms. They adapt.
But beneath every version remains the truth. Hunger, darkness, death. Endure, because you need us.
And, well, honestly, we're not going anywhere. All right, guys, here's your part. Push the stake down into the corpse, and let's get this show on the road. The doors.
All right, everybody move on through to the next one.
I got it.
It began in 1816, during a storm-soaked summer, when Mary Shelley imagined a man who could create life from death. Her novel was more than a ghost story. It was a warning. Victor Frankenstein, driven by obsession, stitches together a being from the dead, then abandons it the moment it opens its eyes. And that's where the real horror lives. The creature isn't born evil, he learns. He feels. He reaches out and receives only fear and rejection. That loneliness twists him into the monster everyone already believes he is. Then Hollywood stepped in and made the monster impossible to ignore. In 1931, Boris Karloff brought the creature to life in Frankenstein, with Jack Pierce's unforgettable makeup, giving him a face the world would never forget. But I suspect the man himself could tell you more about that than I ever could.
Each morning began long before the cameras rolled. Jack Pierce would apply layer after layer. Cotton, collodion, grease paint, building the face piece by piece. The head was shaped to appear as though it had been assembled, not born. The eyelids were made heavy, the skin drawn tight, the scars deliberate. It took hours in the chair, sitting still while the monster slowly came to life. And once it was complete, I didn't simply wear the makeup, I had become him. The weight of the boots, the restriction of the costume, the limited vision, all of it informed how he moved. He was not meant to be fast. He was not meant to be graceful. He was constructed. Perhaps that's why audiences felt something for him, because beneath it all, there was still a man trying to be understood.
But before Karloff, there was an earlier spark. In 1910, Edison Studios released one of the first film versions of Frankenstein, a silent short where the creature emerged from a bubbling laboratory cauldron. More alchemy than science. Even at the dawn of cinema, the story was already alive. And it kept changing. Christopher Lee gave the creature a colder, more unsettling presence in Hammer's films. Robert De Niro later brought it closer to Mary Shelley's novel, intelligent, emotional, and painfully aware of what he is. Then came one of the strangest and most beloved descendants of the Frankenstein legacy, Herman Munster, built from the same stitched-together tradition. Herman turned the monster into something funny, gentle, and oddly wholesome. Proof that even creatures made from fear can become family. Even Tom Devlin has carried that legacy forward in his own way, with Las Vegas Frankenstein. A modern monster story built with practical effects, old school imagination, and a love for the classic creature features that started it all. Frankenstein isn't just about bringing something to life. It's about what happens when you abandon it. Now then, if you'd like to continue, and I suspect you do, go ahead and pull that lever on the wall. Yes, that one. Don't worry, I'll be right behind you. You just won't see me. Doors are open. Push through.
Halfway through.
Hi, I'm Andre Gower. I played Sean, the leader of the Monster Squad in the 1987 cult classic directed by Fred Decker. You know, some, including Tom Devlin, say The Mummy in our movie was one of cinema's best, created by Stan Winston and his incredibly talented team. And that wasn't by accident. They were pulling from a deep well of history, both real and cinematic. Long before Hollywood ever wrapped an actor in bandages, real mummies captured the imagination of the world. The discovery of King Tut's tomb in 1922 by Howard Carter ignited a global fascination with ancient Egypt. Stories of curses, disturbed tombs, and restless spirits spread like wildfire. While the so-called Curse of the Pharaohs was mostly myth, it gave filmmakers the perfect foundation for horror. Something ancient, sacred, and not meant to be disturbed. Hollywood wasted no time. In 1932, Boris Karloff brought the undead priest Imhotep to life in The Mummy, setting the template. This version leaned heavily into atmosphere and mysticism, more about eternal love and forbidden resurrection than pure monster mayhem. As the decades rolled on, The Mummy evolved. Hammer Film Productions gave us a more physical, brutal version in the late 1950s, with Christopher Lee portraying a towering, unstoppable force. By then, the bandaged monster had become less of a tragic figure and more of a relentless engine of destruction. By the time we get to our film, The Monster Squad, Stan Winston and his crew blended all of that history the tragic roots, the physical menace, and the visual iconography into something that felt both classic and modern. Then came the 1990s revival, where The Mummy, starring Brendan Fraser, reimagined Imhotep as something far more dynamic, part horror, part action spectacle. With groundbreaking CGI, The Mummy could regenerate, command sandstorms, and transform into something almost godlike. It was a long way from the slow-moving figures of the past, but it still traced its DNA back to those early discoveries in the desert. What makes The Mummy so enduring is that it's rooted in something real. Unlike vampires or werewolves, mummies actually exist. They are physical proof of a lost world, carefully preserved bodies that were meant to last forever. And maybe that's what makes them so unsettling, because deep down, we know they're not just stories. They were never meant to wake up. But in movies and television, they always do. Now, find the glowing red scarab beetle, touch it to open the chamber, and enter the next room.
The red scarab, right here. Well, definitely touching it. Oh, it's open?
This side, that side's not. What you gotta do? Is there a little handle there?
No. You're supposed to just touch it. Well, go through the one door then. Just go through the one door.
Push through the doors and let's get to the next one. Sounds. Yeah. My friend Roger in the corner over there is going to explain to you exactly where this house is.
Hello there. Now, unlike werewolves, vampires, or even Frankenstein's monster, legends born in all over Europe, the zombie, the one you're looking at right now, that's an American creation. Born right here on home soil, 1968. When George A. Romero and Tom Russo unleashed the Night of the Living Dead and changed everything. Now, sure, before that, there were stories, voodoo legends, films where the dead were controlled, empty shells without will. But Romero made us hungry, fleshy, slow-moving, unstoppable, not controlled, not cursed, just us. He kept going, dawn of the dead, day of the dead, turning zombies into something more than monsters. Reflections of society, of consumption, of collapse. And then, oh, Italy went a little wild with it. Lucio Fulci gave the world zombie, rotting flesh, worms in the eyes, slow decaying bodies that looked like they truly clawed their way out of the grave. Full chills, dripping atmosphere, and unforgettable imagery. Then came Dan O'Bannon with the Turn of the Living Dead, and oh, he made us talk, he made us fast, he made us hungry for brains. Brains. Oh, and we didn't just stay in straight war. After we took here and pulled in America, the infection spread across that ocean, all the way to England, where they caught onto the zombie craze in their own way. Like in Shaun of the Dead, where Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright turned the apocalypse into something almost relatable. Friends at the pub, trying to survive the end of the world with a pint in the hand, while we shuffle around outside, funny, clever, very British, but still us. From there, we spread everywhere. Movies, television, even shows like The Walking Dead, where the end never really ends. Because that's the thing about zombies. We don't stay buried. We don't stop. And sooner or later, we all join the hunt.
Place your hand on the brain on the cabinet to open the doors. the tour. Move through the doors as they are now open.
Hey, Tom. They made it through.
Oh man, what a great group. These guys weren't afraid of anything.
Well, I hope you learned quite a bit about movie magic and the creatures of cinema.
Aria?
Maybe next time you're watching a scary movie or serving treats on a
Can we take
Halloween
you outside?
night, you'll see a familiar monster and you remember where they came
take
from
you
and how
outside?
important they are in our culture.
Here, outside,
Monsters
this is
have been a huge part
outside.
of both mine and Butch's lives. And sometimes people don't understand the art and history attached. So we hope that's what you can take away from this experience.
Well, that and some good selfies though, right?
Well, if you're taking selfies, make sure you get one with my buddy Spot. You wouldn't want to miss that opportunity.
Seriously, guys, thanks for coming. And please tell all your friends.
All right, Claude, open the door. That's going to do it for the House of Monsters. On behalf of Danny, Andre, and all of our friends and fiends in the house, keep screaming, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, folks, doors are open. Exit this